Yeah, yeah, you know it. Some late night grooves for you. DJ JP spinning the night away. Never was a late night DJ, I don't think. Definitely listened to a lot of late night Ranger games, though. Woo! That'll wake you up. Hey, I'm JP Heath. This is the Texas Porch Podcast, live streaming this one as the Texas Rangers go up 2-1 in the World Series. It is good to be a baseball fan of this team, which you could probably tell I am. We'll go over a lot of things. We have the box score to get to, some initial thoughts. And if someone is out there on the live stream, we certainly allow an understanding with some valued sleep out there, as I've been sleeping actually pretty well lately. But a game like this, keeping you up a nervous wreck, can do some strange things to sleep patterns, which we understand at this point. But would love for you to like and share this episode, even with we know a lot in this case will listen and watch on the replay, even if it's the podcast. Big help that if you follow us on the podcast and share it with a Rangers buddy or friend. But I guess a buddy really is a friend. And you could subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as we grow that together. That helps. And any and all comments welcome, just in general with the podcast or for our favorite Texas baseball team that is still going. You like that qualifier towards the end. I'm on social media as well. Mr. Texas JP, love to hear some of your thoughts if you are out there deep into the night. Whoops, didn't want to do that. But we'll go back over the box score coming up here in just a smidge. But a few things I wanted to get to as Rangers take this one 3-1 and go up in the series 2-1 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. The 9th straight road win for the Rangers. They've won all 9 road games that they've played in this postseason, and that's a new Major League Baseball postseason record. How wild is that? We'll get to how it happened in a bit, but I kept going back. I was trying to place the scene in Dumb and Dumber when it happened. Lloyd, Harry Lloyd, whoever said it to the other. That bullpen messed around and you totally redeemed yourself. Wow. Pitching won that game for the Rangers. Defense won that game. Give Josh Young a pat on the back if you know him. Man, the Rangers out-homered the D-backs, but that was a game 4. Not epic, but that was not a game for the ages because I think we saved that for game 1 status and game 7 against the Astros status, but I guess it's what they call a World Series game, but that was still really tense and tight, as I've been scarred too many times during the regular season, and I shouldn't, because this is such a drastically different team in the postseason. You might be wondering where my bearded friend is tonight. Josh, a little bit under the weather, so he had built up some comp time. He had built up some sick time, so we gave him the night off. Seems to be going around. That's generic comment for you there, but so, yeah, 9 straight road wins, a new postseason record. It was a game of breaks. They got some close calls. Some close calls have gone against them here in this postseason. Things have evened out. Obviously, if you're of D-backs or non-Rangers origin, you might argue that point. That's the way I try to see it neutrally. But the defense and the pitching won them this game. They got the early lead and they held on. If you're just looking for kind of a summation of it, Max Scherzer goes out in the 4th inning, and good gracious, I hearken back to a line I had from a couple weeks ago. It all blends together. Time is a myth. That Rangers are only going to get injured pitchers. That's what makes this postseason run all the more wild, is that their 2 biggest named acquisitions in the offseason aren't pitching now. Jacob deGrom won't pitch much of next year, if any, And who knows what Max Scherzer's status is. And it was another night where the tight back in the back spasms seemed to creep up. I'm looking on X Twitter here, and Scherzer tells someone of notable journalistic integrity, I know I just had it here, that he had some back spasms. He missed a start going back 4 years ago. By the way, this was the anniversary 4 years ago to the day that he had his famous Game 7 start for my Nats against the Astros. And but he came back 3 days later in that Game 7 start. So they truly may not end this series, but my gosh, the headline going in was Scherzer. Like I said the other night, you get 4, 5, what do we say? 6 would be golden, but realistically, it'll probably be 3 or 4, and it ended up being 4. But he's a gamer, man. He's the same human being, but he's not throwing the same way that he did 4 years ago. That's excusable, but you can worry about all that other stuff later about him in the future. But he's definitely a guy that's still qualified to go out there and pitch. I just don't know, even reading this fresh late into the night on this Twitter wire, if that is still feasible, even though it was the same type of injury that he had. How about Josh Sborz? I'm seeing a Twitter X video of him coming through in the clutch. There it is, right window here. Sborz, I'll go to the box score in a second. I'll do that, but Sborz comes to mind. Leclerc comes to mind. Come on down. As the great Hall of Famer Eric Nadel, where's that bobblehead? Right there. Eric on the broadcast has deemed it the Aroldis Chapman experience, and that is definitely what it is. He makes you nervous, but he got that huge double play, 114 miles off the bat late in that game, and that won it it got him out of that tense 8th inning. But go over some of the box score tidbits in a second, but here's essentially how it happened. And again, any comments I'm going to go over for a screen for a second. So if I don't get right to you, we will be here momentarily. But Marcus Semien gets the scoring started. That was good to see Marcus get, like we're on first name basis. Oh, by the way, I never popped my Victory Diet Root Beer here. How good does that sound? Yeah. Second one of the night. I'm going hardcore. That was his only hit of the game. And then, of course, he later came in to score on the Corey Seager blast, I guess, came in the 3rd inning. Yeah, Rangers scored all their runs in that 3rd inning. The RBI from Semien scored Lowe, who had that very heads-up double, taking that base, and Rangers got all 3 of their runs in that 3rd inning. But it was great to see Semien do that. Seager makes it after the Semien RBI. Rangers are 8-0, by the way, now 9-0 when scoring first in the postseason. And Seager's dinger after that was his 20th career postseason home run. What? On his first pitch. I was surprised to hear that. He, during the regular season of his about 30 homers, only 5 of them were in the first pitch. I could have sworn it was not that at all, but 2 of them now coming here in the postseason, he's had 5 dingers, have come in the first pitch, the one Friday night, and then this one here tonight or Monday night for posterity's sake. But Seager gets the dinger, and then later on, Scherzer leaves with a back issue in the 4th inning. And I thought at the time, and Bochy played it well so that Lovello had to burn somebody from the bench, and he takes him out, but leaves with what now they know are back spasms. But then kudos to Jonathan Gray comes in and he gets the win. He's very stellar in coming out of the pen and pitched very clutch. 3 innings of shutout ball, only had the 1 run allowed. Only had the 1 hit allowed, excuse me. They didn't allow the run come later until Chapman gave up that run in the 8th inning. But man, Gray looked really good. That's the best I've seen him pitch in a long, long time, and very reassuring. We can have that kind of umph coming out of the bullpen, and that's what the nature of the game is. You have starters that take on these reliever roles as there's 20% less starts to make in the rotation, essentially. And the high leverage guys get the high leverage moments, and Gray did that. I liked what Josh Spores did. He came in and had a shutout inning, as I just talked about that. But going on into the fifth, that's when Gray came in and got me on that polite sidetrack. But after he's in, I wrote down this note. What a nice long play by Young there at third. And then bam, Gray gets that one unassisted, just taking care of his own business over there at first base. Love those plays. That's one of my favorite plays when you get the rare one unassist. I like the pitcher little pop out. Rarely you get a fly out to the mound, but even the pop outs or the pop ups, but those one unassisted I really like. But man, Young played a great defensive game. Seager had a couple of nice plays. They did a really nice job here defensively. But when you're the top two defensive teams in Major League Baseball, that's going to happen. So I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit here to the ninth, because at that time, I guess they just to reiterate, they did get Seager had his homer. So it's 3-0, but then Perdomo comes in, singles to left, and that scored Emmanuel Rivera to score turned out to be the last run of the game, but it was 3-1 still in favor of the Rangers, and that'd be all she wrote. And it was really the night of the back tweaks, as then now you have to deal with Adolis Garcia. He grimaced as he held his back, and he leaves, and Jankowski replaces him while Chapman enters. And then I'll talk more about that situation coming in a second. But how about the call? Talk about breaks of the game. In the ninth, there was a call that was 3-1. And who was their 3-hole hitter that was at the dish? Yeah, that was Moreno. He's at the plate and really close. It was a ball. It wasn't like too egregious. I'm sure folks that love to pull out those umpire scorecards, and it will definitely be one that the Diamondbacks fans can rightfully say they got hosed on, but definitely a break of the game, no less, as instead of a walk, their 3-hole hitter with Walker coming up, it goes to 3-2, and he grounds out to Young. That was a big one, and it ends in favor of those guys from Arlington there, and they get that win to go up 2-1 in the World Series. The Rangers keep getting it done on the road, and they keep getting good bullpen. I mean, good bullpen play that they kind of showed the rear end a tiny bit against the Astros, and it wasn't perfect, really. I mean, no, really, it kind of was against Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Those first 2 rounds, what was it, a sub-2 ERA? I remember us reciting that stat back. So, man, the bullpen, I just can't get over how they did in that game. But with Scherzer leaving early in that game, earlier than expected, what do you do in game 4 of this one? Do you go, and maybe I should check again to see, is my viewing situation, reason why we're a little bit late, I guess I should have let off with that, is I was on about a 2-hour delay. I tried to fast forward a little bit there and did for a while, but then just soaked it in and enjoyed it as the Rangers take that win, trying to see if they had any other nuggets about this one. What was I even looking up? Oh, yeah, on the pitching side of things, I've not seen for sure who they were going to throw, but it's process of elimination. We were even wondering aloud the other night when young Joshua was here, what do they do? I know old Sandler will have it. He has everything Rangers related. Just little live scanning here. Okay, they do announce this is from Rangers PR. So glad I took the the tough effort here to click here. But yeah, Andrew Haney will start Tuesday's game 4. And that's big because you'd think Bochy thinks that he's more comfortable with Dunning coming out of the bullpen in that situation. That's really where he earned his stripes earlier in the season. So yeah, I would think I had on my notes Dunning and Haney in tandem. I just assumed it'll be Haney and Dunning there in a tandem situation and I think they I mean, you saw Dunning can do both. Haney's really only now I kind of reason this out. It makes sense. Hey, who knew that the 3-time world champion manager who knows a little bit more baseball than me would have it right. But yeah, Haney, I think you get 3 innings from him. You're like, okay, stop your griping. Just get 3 innings from him because he hasn't exactly been electric. But Eovaldi and Montgomery haven't either. But that's another topic for another day, at least this round. Big other question out of this is how is Adolis? Tomorrow/today, I guess it is now, you got to put Carter in right field, I'd imagine, and move Grossman into left. That's what this guy riddles. Grossman's a switch hitter, and I haven't seen who the Diamondbacks are starting. This is not a Diamondbacks podcast, but man, the irony of Carter now replacing Adolis when Carter replaced Adolis and got Carter really his claim to fame, so to speak, late in that season. So, man, I don't know. Here's some more things. Just glancing at the box score. Can y'all even see that? Can we even really see that? But looking at the top of the order, all 3 runs were driven. Semien had the RBI. Seager had the homer. And only 2 walks against the Arizona lineup. And they kept Carroll off base, too. He was 0 for 3. Did have a walk, actually, but he struck out a couple of times. And it's so weird to say it, but I think we said this the other night, or was that after? I don't think it was after game 1 because Mitch and I were so giddy, but I think it was a more measured and controlled thought when we were talking about, I'm getting brain fog later on. Yeah, getting the Diamondbacks offense started. They just never got in that groove. They were playing catch up. It's why we made the jokes over and over again about getting the early runs. Hey, and I think we said that in the Astros Twin series, and we made a couple jokes after that. Hey, when you get early offense and early runs, that's a good thing. Wow, what Peter Gammons and Buster Olney, eat your heart out. But that's just the thing, and that's the way it's been this whole postseason. Whoever gets the early offense is going to win. And even, I mean, you put up a crooked number in an inning like that, and that stymies everything that they can do on the bases. And they just never had that situation where the bottom of the order got on too much, did they? I mean, Perdomo is pretty much a secondary leadoff guy down there anyway. But you look at, remember that stat they flashed up? What was that in the 6th inning that had the bottom 5 through 9 hitters? Well, I look at it right now on my quick buck. I have an odd baseball box score viewing talent where I can add up things on the fly and talk at the same time. So if you include Rivera, the pinch hitter there late in the game, they were 1 for 11, and they didn't walk anybody in the bottom of the order, but you had that Perdomo RBI for their 1 RBI of the game. So usually it's kind of backwards logic there, but they did their job against the bottom of the order that wasn't able to set up Carroll and company and Marte and getting that started there in the top of the order. So yeah, good things happened tonight there out west. It brought back some memories. My late grandmother lived a lot of her elderly life out there in that Phoenix and Mesa area, and she passed away a long time ago. But my now recently departed uncle, Nick, I think we've talked about him on the podcast a little bit. He'd have been crazy with this series because he loved the Diamondbacks when he was living there. and he loved his Twins, and he became a late in life Rangers fan as well when he moved closer to my dad. But yeah, just all the feels there. Been to Arizona a few times and always wanted to go to that ballpark. I know, yeah, that was something else I noticed is I can't remember seeing a game with the roof open there. I know that park's been open for seemingly forever and a day, but man, it's great. And I hope, I mean, well, we've got pretty good weather. We don't have El Nino just yet again. I know it's cool tonight here in our great Lone Star State, but man, open the roof. Let's get a World Series game with that roof open. Tell Myrtle and tell Bert to wear their extra slick resistant slippers. Somebody give them a little cane and don't slip by the boomstick stand. Let's get some. Who cares about condensation? You know, come on. This is loopy late night, JP saying here, but that's I gotta think of some catchphrase when I'm doing these solo shows. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it here. But no, want the roof open, and I really like the look of I almost said the Bank One ballpark, but Chase Field. And man, telling you, any other week, I had this thought. I haven't shared this with the listening audience yet. Really wanted to go to a game, and with the dynamics of the day job, just can't happen. You got to put on your big boy britches. Case in point, now I'm talking to myself here early on a Tuesday morning. A lot of replays, though. I know you replay folks appreciate it, but really wanted to go. But we got All Hallows Eve. We've got a road game in the middle of the week. Just don't think I could swing it unless I could possibly do game 6. So if any good, the Texas Porch benefactor wants to pay for a nice, I'll even settle for standing room only tickets. I won't like it, but I will settle on maybe spend the extra couple $100 and get me a seat. But I don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I wanna, but we'll worry about that later. If indeed that Diamondbacks probably will win the next 3, and it'll be a moot point, and they'll win that game 6. But positive in life, and always look and set those expectations low in the sports. All right, one final thing. Hey, I talked for 23 minutes, Mitch. If you're out there, 23 minutes exactly so far. Who needs Mitch? Who needs Josh? I can do it solo. But no banana guys or kids behind home plate. Obviously, that's a thing at the Gilf at Globe Life Field. But that Iowa guy got to me. I don't know why it bothered me so much. It didn't dominate. Maybe it kind of did. But I like to think, I like their setup where they didn't have so many in those kind of dugout caverns like Arlington does. They need to have less attention, but it seemed like the D-bag factor was up higher per person with the muscled abs T-shirt guys. And what a clown world we live in. Wish they would get off my lawn here. I guess I can't allow too much fun in there, but yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it there. Anyway. All right. I had fun, yapped to myself. Appreciate you all tuning in. A bit of a shoddy tonight by my standards. But yeah, fun times. Quick turnaround back there tomorrow. And we have the Andrew Haney Game 4 World Series experiment. Buckle up. Let's see how that goes. Remember to like this episode. And whether you're on the YouTubes or the Facebooks, that helps us with the AI overlords. And remember, most importantly, have a great rest of this morning or night or day you're watching it. God bless you. God bless Texas. We'll talk to you next time out here on the Texas Porch. Good job, Nathaniel. Way to go. Let's go, Rangers.